Welcome back to Paradise Killer, Episode 3. We're headed out into the wide, wide world. We're done with the intro, all of that long talking, that's it. No more super long talks. Everything else is going to be free roam and short and fun. Look at the world is spread out before us. So I really like this exit, this very, very basic introduction. Let me talk about the level design. First off, that's the crime scene. The brutalism tower that they were talking about. That is where we should be going if we want to investigate things. It's actually quite a challenge to get there, so we won't be going there anytime soon. I don't think I went there in the first 10 hours of the game. But even if you were planning to go there, as you go down this path, not only does the path take a sharp right away, but there's a person glowing here telling you that you should probably talk to this person instead of just running off that direction. This is Shinji again. He pops up a lot. A moment of your time.
I hate demons.
I understand you've got a lot on your plate. A mass murder on an island full of weirdos. Yeah, I get it.
Got it.
You know the blood crystals, that currency you guys are so precious about? I took the liberty of acquiring some while everyone was leaving. I redistributed the wealth. Not to who, but to where. I scattered it around the island. You'll need it. Crimson Acid will trade you blood crystals for secrets. If you want a cold, refreshing beer, it'll cost you. Crimson Acid is the goat head lady, and she will in fact trade us blood crystals for secrets. Is it just me, or are the vending machines here a bit expensive? Which is another plot point. You have to buy sodas in order to get one of your lockpicking unlocks.
The facts and the truth are not the same.
What would you know? You're from another planet. Hey, I'm just making conversation. Catch you later. So blood crystals are the currency in this game, and there is a limited number of them. So obviously, giving us a blood crystal immediately after telling us what they are was the right idea. Sharp players will probably have already gotten one back on the exit ramp, but here's another one for us, pulling us down this slope. Now we could technically just jump off here and go over there and do whatever we want, but we're gonna be pulled down here. I think that every player is gonna come down this way. There's also a bright purple phone. Anything bright purple is obviously something Lady Lovedeyes should be talking to. It's a save point. So here we see we can spend a blood crystal to unlock travel to and from this point. That's the dirty secret about quick travel. Not only do you have to unlock it per phone, you have to pay every time you use it. Or we can save. I already saved here. Magic of streaming or recording videos. If we look down here, you can see a truly unappetizing direction to go. I think that's on purpose. I think they made this look unappetizing on purpose. At night, which is when you start, this direction just looks terrible. It looks boring. So I think that most people are probably going to go this way. I know I did. My instinct is always to go up hills. I like this really long bridge they've got here. It's very similar to your house, and it really tells you, you know, this is the sort of thing you should get used to. Strange statues and greenery. That's how it is. Island Sequence 20 Memento. The mountain collapses. Why? How? It was supposed to be perfect. Well, this is not the first time that someone has come up with the idea for a perfect island, and it's always Carmelina. She's the one doing all the work. Island 20 collapsed because demons invaded the island itself, the physical foundation of the island. It became possessed by demons. And that's why Carmelina in this game is so obsessed with making the next island demon-proof. Like the physical island itself. After that long tower, we could go up even more, but look, it's a waterfall. And this is the moment when I knew that me and the game were on the same wavelength. Because you know what you do when you find a waterfall? You go behind it. Oh well, hello.
The investigator, I presume.
Yeah, so the very first waterfall of the game that you find, 2 seconds after you leave the judge's lair, if you play like me, and it's got a secret character behind it. I don't believe this character shows up if you don't go behind the waterfall. I don't believe she even shows up in AR. So this character is someone who died. She's a ghost. And she'll talk to us about a variety of things.
Got it. Aren't you paying attention, investigator? My new name is One Last Kiss.
So this is One Last Kiss, and she has a lot of really vital information for us. She pops up more after the mid-game, which makes me think that they didn't really think people would find her immediately, because I spent a good 5 hours doing other stuff, and she never had anything to say, and then after that it was suddenly like, oh yeah, let's talk a lot, constantly, about everything.
What the hell? Enjoy Perfect Man Sank, investigator.
Ah, I wonder if you'll discover my old self. Yeah, of course we will. When you look around this island, what do you see? This island is a thousand little tragedies waiting to be discovered. I know where one is. When things die, where do they go? Do you think I am dead? If I am, where would I be? Ooh.
I have a bad feeling about
You want me to find your resting place? The Syndicate Graveyard? This little game better lead to something. I hope so too. The Syndicate Graveyard is at the top of these stairs. It's where I went first, right after this. Because it's at the top of the stairs. And obviously, if you're going up the stairs, you're going to go to wherever the top of the stairs are. One little secret, though, is if you jump back here a little bit off-center, it's very easy to fall down. And when you fall down, you fall down. It's very hard to get back up from the canals all the way back up to here. You don't take any damage or anything, but it will take you quite a while to return. Oh, this is the first time I've noticed those waves, the sound wave visuals for this look kind of like teeth. So this sonar ping is telling us there's music. There's plenty of collectibles, and that's fine. Midori Eyes, the woman at a cocktail bar. I remember her a lifetime ago. Or another timeline? I should have made a different choice. The collectibles you pick up are not usually just generic. Aside from blood crystals, everything you find is going to be something that has some kind of blurb. And the blurbs are always going to have some level of emotional truth to them. That's what sets this game apart from other games with the same kind of premise, like Control. Most games struggle very hard to get even a tiny snippet of emotional truth, but this game just kind of shovels it. There's tons and tons of relatable stuff happening at all times. And maybe it's not being presented in a way you particularly like, especially if you're not a fan of psychedelia, but it's being presented, and it's something that you can really feel. It's not one of those situations where you don't really have any connection to the world around you. Because the world around you is primarily emotional, you have a lot of connection to it. And as I was playing this the first time, I was noticing just how many things were in places that I wanted to explore. I was like, oh my gosh, let's explore, underneath this place over here. I wonder if there's anything to find. Will they have actually made these levels contain stuff, I wonder? Because I'm a big fan of exploring these kinds of levels. At the time, I was like, oh, this is a very lo-fi game. There's not really any solid lighting or anything. The levels are strangely large, and oh, there's stuff everywhere. Everywhere you think is interesting and you go to poke around in, yeah, the level designer intended you to find stuff there. Another Way of Blood bar skit. As I said, these aren't my favorite. Can justice be born out of chaos? It's the only weapon we have against discord. How far can you go? It depends. Sometimes you must go as far as you can. Can you break the law to achieve justice? We all break the law. The law just gets in the way. No one is above it. Sometimes the law gets bent in quest for the truth. Justice comes in many forms. How many does a syndicate accept? As many as it needs to. So this is a twofer. They're talking about both the fundamental concepts of law versus justice, because, we're on an island where there are plenty of laws but not any justice. But it's also talking about the final result of the game, where you get to decide who becomes guilty and who becomes innocent. And you do not have to choose the criminals. Dead man's ambition obtained. A floral taste with the aroma of vanilla. Find a comfortable chair, but not too comfortable. Comfort will make you nostalgic. You have nothing to be nostalgic about. See, I just love that. That's a good line. All of these whiskeys that we find are linked to the other Daybreak, which we'll talk about later. But fundamentally, just the ability to give us a snippet like that is very powerful. It means that the characters don't have to constantly talk about themselves or whatever. We can just find things that have a presence, an emotional presence. And now we've got two options. We can keep going upstairs. That leads to the place that we were just talking about the ghost with, the graveyard. The graveyard's up there. But the first time I played, I went this way because this way looks more interesting. Look at that. And they both go up. So I'll go to the interesting up. Now the truth is, we don't want to go up there yet because it costs money. We need at least, I don't know, at least 10 blood crystals before we go up there, and it's going to be more like 15 because we're going to spend some blood crystals first to get a double jump. So we're going to go this way. Now I am not going to claim that I have memorized the position of every single thing in the game, but if you see me walking around like this, you might be thinking, why is he walking around like this? Well, the reason for that is because everywhere you go, there's loot. This is a game that rewards you for running off and just looking around. And I think that is amazing. I think that works really well. I really feel this kind of game design, the level designer and I are on the same wavelength. Every single time I decided I wanted to poke around behind something, I found something to find. Every single place I went was interesting. It's not one of those games where you're rewarded for sticking to the path because there's just nothing else. In this game, you get rewarded by going off the beaten path. In fact, in order to actually figure out what's going on, you have to go off the beaten path into some very strange areas that you would not naturally go. There are a lot of times when the player might, a player that's not into going off the beaten path might not even catch on either of the conspiracies. There are two conspiracies here, and both of them are critical to understand, and you might not get either of them if you're not fond of poking around behind things. Which makes an interesting design choice. I'm not sure I would make that design choice for every game, but I certainly find it to be a pretty good choice in this case. We're headed over to K-Hack's workshop, and I'm going to call him K-Hacks because it's fun to say. I think it's a good time for us to stop. We'll tackle his workshop as its own thing. See you next time.